Greetings, peeps. I hope everyone is staying cool. It has been super, super hot outside. Just checking in. This is pretty short and sweet. One of the downfalls of online instruction is the fact that there isn't a great deal of interaction between the students and the profs. So I'm sort of limited to whatever comments I can make on your papers, things like that, and short vids like this. There isn't really much room for lecture or a lecture series in this course, simply because most of what you're learning is from the textbook, although I do from time to time interject little snippets of lectures. So you will be having some of that, but not a great deal. Again, this is a very short 7-week course. We don't really have a lot of time to play with. So let's get right to it. First of all, with the online textbook access code, a number of you are still not registered with that online textbook. In other words, you either haven't registered it or you haven't purchased it. Please understand, this textbook is required. You cannot pass this course without it. You've got to have it. So please, if you are having difficulty purchasing the online text, you need to get in touch with me as soon as possible. Just let me know what's going on so that I can sort of plan around for you so that this is not going to be such a hectic experience for you. We don't have a lot of time. Remember, this is a 7 weeks course. Here we are, about to start our third week. And the clock is ticking, so please understand, you've got to have that online text. You cannot do without it. And on sort of a related topic, the detailed course calendar, you'll note that, again, all the start dates are July 1st, right, when the course started. Of course, we had that holiday weekend, which took a big chunk out of our time. But note, again, the official due dates for everything, that's all of the assignments, everything, is August 15th. So you do still have quite a bit of time, but please don't be fooled into this, false sense of, oh, I got plenty of time, because if you wait until the last week of course, you're never going to be able to get all that in. So please, budget your time wisely, understand what goes on. Let's talk a little bit about some of the grading that's already been going on. Several of you have been turning in assignments and readings, and that's awesome. That's great. Thank you. Keep that up. Just understand that I don't grade. It's impossible for me to grade everybody because not everybody turns in their assignments at the same time. For these 7-week courses, it's just easier if I do that rather than to try to put you into these tight, compact schedules, which are, in my mind, are just insane. So I will grade your assignments, but they may not happen right away. Sometimes I wait until there's at least 10 people that have turned in assignments before I begin a grading process, because then it makes it worth my time to invest in it. So once you complete an assignment and submit it, you will receive a grade within 72 hours of your submission, unless something is going on and I need more time. For those of you that have not yet logged on to the online text, or maybe you haven't purchased it yet, let's watch this little short vid that talks about what you're going to see and how you can access some of these assignments. So just have a look.
Okay, so let's take a look at the online text just from the standpoint of what it looks like from your vantage point, because the instructor view does not show me what you guys see, and so I'm able to switch to what's called a student view. So you should see this screen when you open up the book or open up the link, and you see some choices here. You can actually just go directly to the text and read, and then you have the assignments over here on the right-hand side. So notice here in section 1, and if you just click on that, it opens up to chapter 1, the humanities. If you click on this particular section, so if you click on this arrow here, it brings you up to this chapter, and you can just click on begin. I know many of you have probably already done this, and I realize this might be old news for you, but for those that haven't yet, just understand that this is what you would do. and click on begin. And so what should happen is your textbook should open to the chapter that's referenced in the assignment. And you can see up here at the top, you can scroll through pages and so forth, at your leisure. So again, several of you are already doing this, and I get that this might be just a repeat, but I wanted, for those of you that may have not yet purchased that online text, and by the way, once again, you really need to do that as quickly as possible. I wanted you to have an opportunity to see that it is fairly straightforward and simple. And then here, chapter 2, same thing. You would just simply click on this and click begin. But let's go to this writing example here, okay? So it says here it's a quiz, right? And all of the writing portions are essentially quizzes. In other words, where you simply answer questions. And when you get into this point and you go ahead and start it, note how it gives you the total number of points that are possible, what the due date is, and again, all of the due dates for all of the assignments are going to be at the end of the semester. You just click continue, and then you've got some multiple choice. It says cave art reveals that art has a geographical connection. Animals have been important in the development of values. Art is a sacred matter. From the beginning, humans instinctively made revealing forms. Now, quite honestly, I would say all of those apply, but these are really sort of what do you think type questions. And then when you continue on with all of these, notice a participative experience involves perception of narrative quality, limited or restricted background knowledge, weak artistic form, undivided and sustained attention. I would probably choose that one just because, again, that's how I feel about it. But these are pretty simple things, guys. This is not hard. And when you finish, you just simply click the submit button. And if you don't get all the questions in, it says you have 9 uncompleted questions. Visit the question map. Again, this is not something that is an issue. And if you have to run away from it for a bit, if you've got something that you need to do and you got to stop, click the save and exit. Your assignment has been saved. You can exit now. You can go back to whatever you want. But all of these assignments, the readings and the writings, are set up this way. So every single one of them. So just do take some time. If you haven't already purchased that online textbook access code card, got to get that in immediately. Do not wait. And then once you do, you can scroll through this and it'll be fairly straightforward for you, I'm sure. So as you noticed from that little snippet there are essentially, 2 types of assignments. There's reading and there's writing. With the reading, however, as I said back in the beginning, it's really more like 3 types of assignments, because you have reading and you have viewing, right? Or listening, and then you have, of course, the written portion. And the viewing and listening will come in not just from your online text, but from the podcast. So let's talk about these elusive podcasts which have yet to appear. Folks, I'm having some technical issues with scheduling the podcast. They are going to happen. We may not have the number of podcast performances that I would have liked from the original. Again, I'm dealing with this very compressed time frame, and it's very hard to fit everything in. But we will have some podcast performances to watch, and then some podcast interviews in which you will be submitting your questions. So they are coming. Just be patient. They will be here, I promise, but it is taking a little bit longer than I had originally anticipated. Many of you are being very good about communicating with me through email as far as what's going on. If you're having issues, if you have questions,
great. That is the best way to go about this. I am a little bit lax in my response time right now, just simply because it is the summer. I'm not in my office, and I don't check my email as often as I should. So I will try to be more diligent about getting back with you in a more timely manner. If it's something that you really need help with, you could mark your email urgent, and I will try to get to those as quickly as possible. But so far, everyone seems to be doing well. Those that have encountered the online text, you're doing great. And you'll notice again on those questions, you have multiple choice questions, and then you have some short essay questions. So these are what do you think type answers that you give. They're not hard and fast factual information, although you can certainly include that. And I love it when you do, because that shows me that you've been thinking about the material, you've been looking at the material, and you understand the subject matter. Now, when we get into the more intricate details of certain art forms, there will be a little bit of a lecture prior to these that I will share with you. Very short, but just some poignant things that I would like for you to bring up in your discussion. And your discussion questions, the short essay questions, often will ask you, why do you feel the way that you feel, or why is it that you think? And have you had any experiences to substantiate the way you feel? Include those, please. Tell me why you feel the way that you feel. I know sometimes we don't want to get into the too personal, in-depth answers, but truthfully, art is a very perceptive thing, right? We have to be able to perceive it in some way, using our senses in some fashion, and that, my friends, is a very personal experience. So yeah, tell me why you think the way that you think. You'll find that I'm a very easy grader when it comes to these things, because again, these are very, very much what do you think type questions, and I don't want to get bogged down into minutia or details. I like for things to be, nice and flowing and easy going. So, all right. Once again, if you have any questions, anything that you need clarification on, if you're having difficulty purchasing that online text, get with me as soon as possible, because we just don't have a lot of time to play around with this. And you might find that you're waiting until too long, and it could result in you failing the course. So please get that online text as quickly as possible. I hope you're getting a chance to enjoy the beautiful summer weather, even though it has been extraordinarily hot lately. And so I'll see you again soon, folks. Take care.
Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? There's nothing too good for a girl that's so true. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? I bought you a fur coat for Christmas, a diamond ring, a Cadillac car, and everything. Love makes me treat you the way that I do.